You're welcome. My name is Kemini Yamani Amanot. And the headline: MP for Adanse Asokwa constituency KT Hammond instructs the Herald newspaper to immediately retract and apologize for a publication he deems extremely libelous. Also to come, government pays 31.7 million Ghana cedis as compensation to property and land owners affected by two major road projects by the Ghana Highway Authority. I'll bring you details of these stories and many more in a bit. Has opened a two-day forum on the implementation of the single-spine salary policy in the Volta Regional Capital Hall. The forum, being organized by the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, is looking at building national consensus for sustainability of the single-spine salary policy. It will provide a platform for a dispassionate discussion of the tremendous social benefits and challenges arising out of the implementation of the pay policy. Deliberations at the forum are expected to help the nation arrive at a consensus on the way forward regarding the implementation of the policy. Participants are drawn from labour unions, employers, labour experts, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, National Labour Commission and other stakeholders. My colleague Eric Curtis Howard is witnessing the forum and joins us live from Hull for an update. Hello, Curtis.
Good afternoon, Kemini.
Right, what more can you tell us?
Okay, right now we could see that the finance minister is giving his address. He's trying to tell workers, labor union, how much government has spent, part of the budget, how much of the budget has been spent this year to pay workers. And according to him, it's been on the high side. And if you listen to the president's address, he said that 70% of the wage bill have been used to pay workers, and which means that leaves government with only about 30% to undertake infrastructure development and other social services projects. And they are saying that it's quite on the high side, and it's creating an inconvenience for government to really undertake some infrastructure development in the country. So if the finance minister, they are targeting that medium to systematically reduce the fiscal deficit from 11.81% GDP to 9% in 2013. They are trying to see whether they can, as much as possible, reduce the compensation packages. And that's one of the issues that he's trying to tell the workers, that the compensation that are paid to workers, they should, as much as possible, reduce it so that governments could come out with more money and could have more money to undertake other infrastructure development. But anyway, these are some recommendations that the finance minister have come out with.
Right.
It is up to the participants at the forum to really deliberate on it and come out with a white paper as to the way forward, what should be done so that both parties benefit, the labor union, the labor front benefits, and government as well benefits. Because the TU's Secretary General Kofi Asamoah indicated that government is still, and labor workers in Ghana are still the lowest salary earners in the world. And it doesn't really speak well for the country. So he raised these issues, and the finance minister is also trying to see how best. It's like a win-win situation for both parties, because the president said going back on the single spine, as in cancelling it now, is not an option.
Right. Right. Thank you very much, Curtis, for the updates. Moving on, 3 persons, including the Member of Parliament for Nkwanta North, John Oti Bless, and the National Democratic Congress Constituency Secretary for the area, have been declared wanted by police. They are wanted to assist in investigations into the cause of last week's rioting in the area. The police are also hunting for another constituency executive, Gando Mohammed, also for his alleged role in the disturbances. Joy News sources at the Volta Regional Police Command say fresh intelligence picked up strongly suggests the 3 have a hand in last Thursday's vandalism. NDC's Nkwanta North Constituency Secretary Joseph Wombe, who described the allegations as ridiculous, denied any involvement in the rioting. Now, President John Mahama has backed calls for the election of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives, but cautions that it must be done gradually. Although he supports the election of MMDCEs, Mahama stressed there is the need to tread cautiously to avoid politicization of the program, as this has the potential to defeat the purpose for which the local governance system was created. President Mahama was speaking at the Flagstaff House when a coalition campaigning for the election of DCEs called on him. According to the president, the election of MMDCEs is critical as it forms part of the gamut of issues needed to improve the local governance system. He stated government is issued a white paper after the work of the Constitutional Review Committee. It is Parliament that has to ensure this becomes a reality. As part of efforts to prevent crime and ensure security of all citizens within the Nema division of the Ghana Police Service, the Divisional Commander, Chief Superintendent Nuhu Jango, says motorbike patrolling has been introduced in a meeting with the media to deliberate on how crime can effectively be combated within the division. He says the initiative will help prevent the difficulty of the police to pursue armed robbers and handbag snatchers, as their vehicles sometimes do not assist in maneuverings when on a chase. He also tasked the media to be diligent in their search for information and also assured the media of their cooperation in fighting crime within their ambit.
One way or the other, some of you have been victims to these things. You know, the Accra Regional Administration has introduced what we call motorbike patrolling. We just want you to know this, that we now go on patrols. Some of our men armed go on patrol on motorbikes just to counter this thing, because it's difficult to take a car to chase a motorbike because he can. So we have introduced that one. Let the people know that we are out there chasing them. It's not done. They shouldn't think when they go that if they start going by tractor, we'll follow them by tractor. We are improving on it and using new tactics. And it is the new one that we are seeing. The visibility. Visibility. Those of you who have traveled outside, you know what I'm talking about. Go to UK. Every 100 meters, you see two policemen. They are just standing there, or they are just walking up and down. Nothing. That is enough to tell you that somebody is watching. And this is that's what we call the visibility.
Now, Member of Parliament for the Adanse Asokwa constituency, Katie Hammond, has instructed the Herald newspaper to immediately publish a retraction and render an unqualified apology for a publication he deems is extremely libelous. In a letter addressed to the newspaper from his lawyers, Hammond noted that the allegations are a fabrication, untrue, and without foundation. Now, the Herald newspaper on Monday reported that Katie Hammond owed the Electricity Company of Ghana accumulated bills running into hundreds of millions of cedis. It also indicated that he had refused to pay and had claimed his post-paid electric meter was faulty. The letter further indicated that the allegations are meant to discredit and tarnish the hard-earned reputation of his client, who is well known in the country. The letter further noted that despite the client's or Katie Hammond's instructions to institute legal action, his lawyers have, however, decided to provide him the opportunity to immediately publish a retraction and render him an apology. In other news, transport operators have decried the inadequate police presence on highways, especially at night. They are worried highway robberies will go up if the Ghana Police Service does not intensify patrols while ensuring that long-distance buses have escorts.
The safety of drivers and passengers who travel long distances, especially at night and dawn, has become doubtful following recent reported incidents. A directive by the Ghana Police Service to have escorts on such long-distance journeys about 2 years ago seem to have been ignored, even though some transport operators have tried to maintain police escorts. OA Travel and Tours, for instance, though has police officers on its Wambo-Gatanga route, is unable to deploy them on all its buses.
Those ones traveling in the night without a policeman, I would say those policemen in the WA buses, we move together in a form of, let's say, convoy. So let's say if, assuming 10 buses is moving in the convoy, and we're having 5 policemen, one in each of the buses, I think the other 5 are also secured.
Though the other operators appreciate the concept, they believe the police service does not have the numbers.
If you want to employ all of them into our various buses on a highway, you just imagine what will happen at the police stations. Or do we have the men to do all this? I think if we are doing it not only on Accra-Kumasi route or everywhere, so that because whilst there's in much security on our route, though intend attacking different routes where there's no security. If the armed robber or the highway robber hear the siren of the highway patrol, it will just spare them off.
The passengers are equally worried.
The police patrol should be very effective because you have only one policeman inside. That man alone cannot do anything when the car is attacked. So I always believe that after every barrier, you should have some policemen following the bus to the next barrier. Then when you reach the next barrier, then you hand over. I think that would be better. You have to have more policemen on the road because the armed robbers, they have different tactics. They can even change. They can attack after the barrier.
The police service, meanwhile, admits it is challenged with personnel and logistics to enforce the directive, but as the transport operators are partly to blame.
Security is a shared responsibility. If the police want to do it and they want to do it, as I told you, we don't have the numbers. So in some instances where even the people have agreed for police protection and the vehicles are more that we cannot provide each and every vehicle a police officer, we have gone an extra mile to ensure that we give them escorts. We have just for our patrols because when it's always getting to festivities periods like the Salah and other things, and now that the tension, everybody's waiting for the court verdict, it's because of us to intensify our patrols, which we are doing, and we are doing it scientifically.
In the meantime, it wouldn't hurt to continue to bid their friends and loved ones safe journey each time they embark on one of these long journeys. Abigail Adumakwenchi, reporting for Joy News.
A group of eminent Ghanaians, educationists, leaders of industry, business people and researchers called the Forum for Education Reform with support from Imani Ghana says it will be more cost-effective for government to achieve its objective of advancing education in the country by improving and expanding current facilities within the existing 38 teacher training colleges in the country, instead of its intention to build 10 new ones in addition to the old ones. The group believes despite the upgrade to tertiary status, there are still persistent issues with the quality, calling for the need to improve. The upgrade being suggested includes quality of instruction, infusing technology, updating the teaching methods and models, among others. In short, the group FFER is asking government to stop its current goal to establish 10 new tertiary institutions. Welcome to another edition of the Midday Brief. To come over the next 60 minutes, parties to the ongoing election petition filed their written addresses today. Our representatives from either 600 property owners who were affected by 2 major road projects by the Ghana Highway Authority are to receive 32 million Ghana cedis. Officials of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning have disclosed. The Chief Director of the Ministry, Major Mahama Samuel Tara, retired, handed the letter authorizing the Controller and Accountant General's Department to pay the affected property owners through their representatives of the Ministry by Monday. The amount covers both the 23,449 Ghana cedis owed affected persons on the Suhum-Nsawam Road and the 8,598,676 Ghana cedis to those on the Medina Pantan stretch. The money, which has been outstanding since 2005, will be paid to property owners whose structures were demolished during the construction of the Accra-Kumasi Highway Lot 6, Kwafukrum, Apedra, and the Tetekwashi Manfe and the Medina Pantan roads. A 15-member group of the affected persons, led by their spokesperson, Kwabno Usudome, was at the ministry, having been assured of payment by officials of the ministry. Now, President Mahama says government will, in the next 4 years, embark on a major overhaul of the country's road infrastructure to minimize agitations linked to poor roads. He announced this when he led a team of government officials to inspect work on the 17-kilometer road that will connect the Nsawam Road at Pokwase to the George Walker Bush Motorway at Awoshi. The project is expected to be completed by December this year.
Work on the project, which started in January last year, is in two phases. A 3-kilometer stretch from Awoshi, where the inspection started, to Anya, funded by Agence Française de Développement. The African Development Bank is also funding the 12-kilometer Anya to Pokwasi stretch. The China Jiangxi Corporation contractors working on the project estimate the cost at a little over 30 million Ghana cedis. To improve safety along the road, provision has been made for 8-foot bridges at critical intersections. Traffic lights along the corridor will also be solar-powered. The president continued to Anya, where he met with the chiefs and people and assured them compensation will be paid to all whose structures have been demolished to make way for the construction.
Anya market Ben agent na drawing say about the new market then many be nufe abaha menu ni ebagbele be from Awoshi all the way to Pokwase. He was communities near your life is not going to be the same again. You are going to be a major transit point from the eastern part, from the western part of the city to the northern part. He was traffic fair Nijo, Dansoman, Kaneshi, Malam, Cape Coast, Namentoni, Aya, towards Nsawambe, Abachobie.
The president's next stop was Olebu, where he was taken round to see the progress of work. He then went to Ayawaso, where he said there will be major improvements once the project is over.
14 schools along this road to be rebuilt with modern schools. I mean, that will make a major impact on the communities, providing them with water, a new market, with hospital, accident center, and all the interventions that are taking place. I think this is one of the most, significant road projects that we have done in this country.
President Mahama says opening up the road network to improve.
You're welcome back. And in some foreign news, the United States and United Kingdom have told their citizens in Yemen to leave the country immediately due to the threat of terrorist attacks. The U.S. State Department also said it had ordered all non-essential U.S. government staff in Yemen to leave the country. Now for some showbiz, and President John Mahama has promised to improve the creative arts industry by shoring up investments for the industry. He also says he has plans of building a second national theatre in the Ashanti region. Top players in the creative arts industry met with the president at the Flagstaff House on August 5 to discuss ways of improving the industry. Concerns which were put forward by representatives of the creative arts industry included setting up a council for the industry, protecting the rights of intellectual property, capacity building through training, and the need for increased funding for the creative arts industry. According to President Dramani Mahama, the creative arts, which is one of the major income earners and creation of employment for countries like like India and the United Kingdom is a sector that his government is keen on improving.
I have no doubts about the potential of the creative industries in respect of, one, creating jobs, and two, being a driver for economic growth. In many countries that do not even have the natural resources that we have, the creative industries are a major income earner for them.
On piracy associated with intellectual property, he advocated stiffer sanctions to deter prospective offenders who pirate intellectual properties of artists.
One of the banes of the creative industry is the theft of intellectual property. It is at the core of everything that you do as an industry, as creative people. People who do this do not understand, they think they have a right to it. And I don't have the solution. I think that between government and you, we must think about, one, how to educate the populace, and two, how to put in a mechanism that safeguards people's intellectual works through sanctioning people who take advantage of it.
President Mahama gave the assurance Cabinet will take a second look at the film cinematographic bill and forward it to Parliament for consideration and approval. We definitely will be looking out for the fulfillment of that promise. That's it for the segment and also for this hour. But before we go, a quick recap of our headlines. And President Mahama opens a 2-day forum on the implementation of the single spine salary structure in Ho. 3 persons, including MP for Nkwanta North John O.T. Bless, declared wanted by police over recent riots in the area stemming from the renomination of a DCE. Meanwhile, President Mahama underscores the call for DCEs to be elected in the future. Government pays 31.7 million Ghana cedis as compensation to property and landowners affected by 2 major road projects by the Ghana Highway Authority. Well, thank you for your company. There is more news on MyNigeriaOnline.com. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano. Bye-bye.